Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, yesterday I shared videos and social media posts from and about people who already regret voting for Donald Trump. Well, today I have stories to share about people who are ditching their Trump voting family members, their Trump loving friends. So, first up is a woman who cut off her freeloading MAGA brother. Check this one out.
My brother and his fiance uninvited me from their wedding, and now I have the wonderful pleasure of uninviting them from holiday activities because they voted for Donald Trump. Just to give you guys a heads up, my brother gets free healthcare, my brother goes to school for free, and I helped him apply for all of those government programs. In addition to that, I gave my brother a free BMW SUV. He drives a free car. I pay for his car insurance, and I pay for his cell phone bill. In addition to that, he lives at home and completely relies on the financial assistance of my mother. So this boy has the audacity to not only vote for Donald Trump, who is against women like myself and my mother, but then he has the audacity, after my mother was crying all day yesterday, he comes home celebrating his victory and rubbing it in my mom's face. Now, I understand we all have different opinions and political views, but you do not go to the home of a woman who financially supports you and rub it in her face.
So, yeah, I sincerely hope she tells him to pull himself up by his bootstraps, right? Tell him to stop relying on women to wipe his ass for him and to pay his own way, pay his own auto insurance, pay his own cell phone bill. I also hope his mother kicks his ass out so that he can go be the man that he thinks he is. This next woman posted on Reddit, and she explained, quote, "I'm a 26-year-old woman who has always disagreed on politics with my father. Being a Republican is one thing, but vehemently supporting a convicted felon, rapist, and racist is where I frankly drew the line." Further down in her post, she said, quote, "My dad knows I was raped. He knows what was on the line for this presidency, and he doesn't care. He called the left evil and that he raised me as a Christian, and I should know better. I feel like I'm living in an alternate reality. Am I really so wrong to keep a distance from my dad after this?" So, very sad that her father is so brainwashed and that he's citing the fact that he raised her as a Christian to justify his vote for, as she put it, a rapist and a racist and someone who is just so vile, just a reprehensible human being, if you can even call him that. The next video is about a woman who lost her brother, his family, and her friend because she supports the apricot antichrist. So check this out.
I had a friend call me this morning, and she's all upset because her brother and sister-in-law cut her off and sent her a text message saying, you are no longer invited for Thanksgiving, and we would just like to keep you away. Don't come near our girls. And so she goes in to tell me, well, they're upset because I voted for Trump. Red flag number one for me. And I said, okay, you voted for Trump. And she's like, my sister-in-law asked me, I just want to know why. And she goes, well, his policies in line with what I believe. And she said, my sister-in-law goes, do you not know that his policies are going to affect you as a woman, your nieces, and all the women that are in our family? And she goes, well, I'm no longer having any kids, so that policy really doesn't affect me. And I have all boys. At that moment, that's when her sister-in-law hung up the phone, they blocked her, and they sent her to text me a message saying that she was unwelcome at their home. And she goes, I just don't understand how you can just cut off family. And I told her, I said, in their mind, you are a danger to them because they can't see that you will protect them at all costs. I said, you got nieces and you had the nerve to say, well, it doesn't affect me and your family. And I said, and I feel like if you could say that to family, Lord knows what you could say to me. And she was like, no, it's not like that. We're friends. We're really friends. And I said, you know, this will probably be the last conversation we'll ever have. And I said, ain't no ill will or nothing, but I see where your mindset is. I see where your heart lies, and it does not lie with me.
So I keep thinking as I read these things, as I watch these videos of Kevin Hart, like, gotta learn today. Anyway, this next post was left in the comment section of the Midas Touch YouTube channel. For those on the podcast, it says, in part, quote, I'm a senior man with no children. I have an estate worth approximately $2 million. Then he continues, I have found out that my 4 nephews and 1 niece have voted for Trump. I have made an appointment with my estate planner to cut them out of my will and leave the bulk of my estate to my 1 niece, God love her, who voted for Kamala. Yes, it doesn't really make a difference in this country, but it gives me a certain satisfaction that these Trump supporters won't benefit from me. Wow. And I found a couple more videos of women who cut off friends. So this one had been a friend for 15 years. Check this out.
Yesterday, I unfollowed a friend that I've been friends with for 15 years. And of course, we all know the reason why. Per the usual, I get comments like, it was never that serious. I really hope you guys keep the same energy when your daughters and your sisters suffer from a complicated pregnancy and they die because they can't get the care that they need, thanks to you. Ironically, this friend has 2 daughters, and she said abortions are playing God. So if you get sick, don't you take any medicine. If you're in a crisis of some sort, don't you get no transfusion. Don't you get no transplant. That's playing God. Don't you do anything to correct what God has planned for you.
This next one had been friends for only 3 years, but it sounds like they were pretty close. So take a look at this.
I just had to end like a 3-year friendship with a friend of mine because she voted for Trump. And I know people are going to say, oh, like, is it really that serious to end friendships over politics? It's not just about politics, especially for Black women. I feel like this is why Black women are so tired, because we always show up for the people around us. Like, we show up for y'all emotionally. We show up for y'all spiritually. I prayed for that girl when she was going through her hard times. I sat by her side and I tried to be the best friend to support her through everything that she was going through. And when you had the opportunity to represent me and to vote in my best interest, you literally voted against me.
So, yeah, I mean, what these people fail to understand is your vote is an expression of your values and your morals. It says, I align with this person. I believe in what they're saying. I believe in what they're pushing. I believe in what they want to do. And that's why I'm supporting them. And if you're willing to put an adjudicated sexual assaulter and literal convicted felon in the most powerful position in the world, that says as much about you as it does about him. This next post is pretty funny. I believe this came from Twitter, and it says, quote, my conservative cousin has just found out he has nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. We've heard him word for word say he doesn't believe women should have property, but he was still expecting women in his family to let him eat at their property. I mean, yeah, if you want to be a sexist SOB, don't expect strong women in your life to be there when you need them. Next up is a video from a woman who's been ostracized from her community because of her Trump support.
LGBTQ community member and longtime Democratic supporter says she's now being ostracized for supporting and voting for Donald Trump.
Then after voting Republican in the election, she claims longtime friends and members of her LGBTQ basketball team started pushing her out.
Ever since I publicly said that I was voting for Trump, I am no longer welcome in the social spheres that they provide. So if there was a birthday party that was coming up that I was invited to, I'm now not allowed to attend. I think it is disgusting that someone can push me out of something that they liked me 2 weeks ago and now they don't just because I voted for someone. The queer people have turned their back on me and I'm queer. So it's very painful. I was absolutely the person that would say, if you're a Trump supporter, I don't want you in my life. And I can say that I regret.
My favorite part of that clip is when she admits she used to do the same thing. She used to cut people out of her life if they supported Trump. And yet now she's like, I just don't understand it. I'm the same person I was a few days ago. Dear Lord. And seriously, like, you're going to hold an entire political party responsible for what a few anti-Semitic protesters did on a college campus, when that same party, when the same current administration of that party has bent over backwards to fund the Israel government and their murder, by the way, of children and babies. So what she's saying is, yeah, I'm cool. I'm totally cool with children and babies being blown up, being slaughtered. Not a problem for me. But, oh, a few college campus people, even, and some of them weren't even actually related to the college campus. Some of them weren't even students there. They were just infiltrators. But she, in her mind, because a few people on a college campus may have said something that either what, some of them were a little anti-Semitic, some of them did make anti-Semitic comments, others just were clearly protesting in support of saving Palestinian babies and children. And they were framed as and painted as anti-Semitic. So this woman clearly is not a logical or serious person. Next up is a video from a woman who disowned her entire family.
So last night, I told my mom and dad that because they voted for someone who wants me dead, that they no longer have the privilege of having their daughter and their granddaughters in their life. And I told them, never contact me again. I'm never calling you. I want nothing to do with you because I'm queer, I'm autistic. I'm no longer safe with people like you. You'd be the first ones to turn me into the Schnazis.
So I feel for her. I really do. I have very few family members who recognize the truth about Trump as well. And that's why I spend most of or what little spare time I have, I should say, with my friends and not my family. Anyway, this next story is pretty sad. I found this lengthy post you see here on Reddit. It reads in part, quote, I passed the bar exam in my state last week, but honestly, I want to jump off a building after these election results. I'm a bisexual man who voted blue down the line. Both of my parents voted Trump. I'm disgusted, ashamed, furious. And then later in the post, he goes on to say he's considering excluding them from his swearing-in ceremony, that they really want to be there. And he asks, am I being immature? Am I being petty? He later edited his post, you can see down at the bottom, and he added more context. He said, this isn't completely about Trump and the election, but his parents aren't aware of his sexuality. And he said they were hoping that Trump would, this is what he quotes, he put this in quotes as if this came out of their mouths, quote unquote, purge this country of F words. Now, he actually wrote the word, which I'm not going to say, or this video will get demonetized, but I'm sure you guys can guess. It's the slur used against gay men. So also feel really bad for this guy. So there you go, guys. People are just done. People are like, you knew, you've had years of watching and listening to this person. You know what he did in his first administration, and you're still cool with it. And you're actually voting against me and my rights and my children, and you are harming us. And that's the thing too that I don't think these Trump voters get. A vote for Kamala Harris did not hurt them. She talked about lowering the cost of prescription drugs, lowering the cost of groceries and stuff like that. Now, not enough, which I'm going to talk about in another video coming up on another day, but she was talking about making life better for the average voter. And their vote, alternatively, or on the other hand, it does hurt people. It absolutely will hurt people. We've seen what voting for Trump the first time putting him in office, putting Supreme Court judges on the bench for life, what that has already done with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, with women literally dying in various states, Texas, Georgia, women having life-altering events because their body is rejecting their baby and the doctors refuse to do anything because they're afraid of going to prison and losing their license. So yes, a Trump vote has consequences, and we're going to see that with the mass deportations. There are going to be innocent people swept up in that. We're going to see that with their, concept of a healthcare plan and them getting rid of Obamacare and getting rid of pre-existing condition exclusions and all that, or safety nets. So yeah, their vote actually hurts people. I mean, we see it in the fact that we have neo-Nazis literally parading in Ohio this week, literally flying swastika flags. People lying about Haitian immigrants, people lying about all kinds of immigrants and vilifying them. So yes, their votes actually harm people. A vote for Kamala Harris did not. So that's what they need to understand. This is not just about politics. If it had been a normal Republican, people would not be cutting their family members and their friends off. It's that simple. So anyway, I will let you guys know when I hear more on this front. I also will have another video for you tomorrow of people actually ditching their boyfriends and their husbands over this election and over their support of a sexual assaulter, a proven in court sexual assaulter. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. As I said, please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.